Hello and welcome to a special episode of Galactic Historian. With Star Citizen Alpha 3.7.1, the developers added a new secret feature to the game, a broadcast, somewhat scrambled, playing over the speakers at Port Olisar. After hearing the message, I realized it sounded similar to something I've come across in my readings of lore, so I figured I'd give it some analysis and possible outcomes of this strange signal. So, without further ado, let's get started. In PTU 3.7.1, players were hearing strange noises in the ASOP terminal areas of Port Olisar. At first, they thought these were just audio glitches or other players talking. I know I did. However, after some time, people began to realize that they were actually hearing an in-game broadcast. The broadcast consists of the following audio.
Attention, people of Stanton. A great injustice has been done.
There are many speculations on what this message is, from something having to do with the upcoming CitizenCon to a hint of a Vanduul invasion. However, I believe it is likely something we have seen before in lore. Let's look at that message first, though this part is very, very clear.
Attention, people of Stanton. A great injustice has been done.
The language in this is very similar to a famous broadcast in the history of Star Citizen, the Tide broadcast. If you haven't heard of the Tide broadcast before, I suggest watching this Galactic Historian video on the top right of your screen. In case you don't want to watch that video, I don't know why not, but if you didn't, here's a short synopsis. A rebel group calling themselves Tide made an announcement with a video. This video exposed a genocide of an innocent and primitive race, perpetrated by the family member of one of the ruling emperors. This broadcast was the catalyst for a revolution which changed the entire trajectory of human history. Here is that entire broadcast recreated for one of our previous videos by Detox TV, a YouTuber and streamer you should be following. Links to him in the pinned comment below.
Humans of the systems. This is Tide. Pull the veil from your eyes and see. Garan 2 was a developing world with a vast array of species. We say was because they are no more. The Imperator and his corp minions terraform the planet, killing everything to feed their insatiable greed. Pull the veil from your eyes and see for yourself.
As you might hear, some of the wording is very similar. Now, this could be because it's the same writer who wrote both of these speeches, but it could be something greater. Tide was a seminal moment in human history. If someone was trying to expose something, maybe on a smaller scale, it would make sense to mimic that same style. We also know that rebel movements have been present in the Stanton system for quite a while now. For instance, Ex Malo Bonum, which means something like out of evil good, has been struggling for years to take outposts away from the Hurston Dynamics Corporation on the planet itself. This resistance is well armed, well funded, and well equipped. In fact, their operators are the ones you fight when you do any of the squatter FPS missions for Hurston. Stanton as a system has also been getting worse and worse, with an ongoing investigation by the Senate into the corporations who are in charge of the system. Many in the Senate feel that these megacorps are not policing their systems, and that the UEE itself needs to step in. In fact, there was even an inquiry into the Jumptown drug wars that was brought before the Senate. Yes, the battles for Jumptown is part of in-game lore. Pretty cool, right? So, a large show of force by a rebel group might just be the thing to push the UEE over into coming in and cleaning up the system. What I'm suggesting is that this is likely some new catalyst for missions, or some kind of large story event that will happen in the future. I certainly hope this is a prelude to more in-game lore ramifications for events. Something that I personally want, and I know many other players want as well. Some have suggested that this is a stage for the destruction of Olisar, which is itself a very old asset set to be replaced. Time will tell if any of this comes to pass, but to me, it's likely not to do anything with the Vanduul, and more likely to do with something kind of outlaw or rebel faction. I'll keep my eyes and ears open for this in the future. Tell me what you think this is leading to in the comments. Am I right? Totally wrong? Would you like to see more of these? Let me know all of this and more in the comments below. And remember to do like, subscribe, do all the things, and as always, ex Historia ad Astra.